which isn't hard these days. But some things I wanted to read. Oh, I told you I have so many post-it notes, and these were back at the one employment place I was at, and I used to write on, anything, you name it. Stickies, scrap paper, cardboard. I just write down all these downloads I would get. When I say downloads, I just mean information that comes to my mind's eye. Stuff that comes to me, how most artists get their inspiration and their ideas. It depends on what you believe in, what a higher source is. If you're religious, if you're not religious, doesn't really matter. Regardless, it doesn't change the fact that people get inspired by other people, by things, by events, by them own selves, by Mother Nature, by the ocean, or by, let's say, divine ideas that come to you. Anyway, so I write so many different things down. And there's one in particular I wrote. This is back when I was feeling the euphoric stage, when I had newly just gone through detox. I quit everything like cold turkey. And my body went into such a shock, and the food and everything, and I changed celibate for a while. That seems to heighten some energetic things within. Here it is. I don't know if you watch any of my other videos, but the things that I've been through in my personal life, I used to think that the sacral chakra, and this is the chakra just above the root chakra, which is red. So this is the orange. This is the sacral chakra, and it's responsible for creativity and sexuality and things related to that. So I used to think that the sacral chakra, which is feel, right? You feel. Feelings was actually the heart chakra. So I got those two confused all the time, which is weird, right? But growing up, that's how it was installed in my brain. So I got those two intermixed. I got the sacral, I feel, was mixed with the heart chakra, which is supposed to be I love. I don't even put I anymore. It was kind of confusing because as a child, I was pretty much conditioned to think that giving of myself in that sort of way, even if it's like inappropriate or something like that, or acting out in that manner, was how I was to get love in return, or what it was to love, which it cross-wired those things in my brain, and that's totally not, it's not how it's supposed to be. It's not true. So then what other things that I noticed? The root chakra, which stands for am, is red. It's usually, obviously, your roots, family ties, certain things like that. Can be like traditional, going all the way back. Sometimes it's based with traumas too. So I thought it was really weird how every devil, let's say in cartoons even, every devil that's predicted is most likely draped in red. Okay, so that's for am. Now I'm not too religious, but I think there's something to do with, something to do with like I am, or you can help me out here. Would that be like the character of Jesus? Anyways, so it's weird. Instead of black, and black's actually used as like a form of absorbing negative energy, so it's supposed to be protection. You'll see a lot of people wearing it. There's even the phase when I don't know if you were in high school and everybody had the phase. There's so many different ones, but there was one that was specific, like goth, or when I was going to school, it was more classed as like emo or something like that. And those are usually individuals that have suffered so much that they're enveloped in their emotions, and without some of them even realizing it, some of them may be educated in that whole thing, but some of them just wear black instinctively, and it's supposed to be like a shield, form of protection, but you never really see any demons or devils so much so like depicted in black, more so red. And in childlike, that's usually when trauma happens. So it's odd that they connect the red to the root, and that is supposed to be am. And another thing on my notes here, they place I do, which would be the solar plexus. So I connect it with like your inner sunlight, which would be connected to like, I don't know if you're into cards or anything, but just even the idea of happiness, joy, childhood, childlike. They even have songs dedicated to the sun and stuff like that. And how Ra, would be the god of the sky, sun, and he is the god of the underworld too. He assisted in that. But the whole idea of Newt and Ra and Horus and all of that, and them being in charge of the sun, and then naming, like, I think it's Newt that, coddled her son, horse, and the whole idea of the sun, right? And that one video I did with the mermaids and the negative energies that were not transmuted, that get passed down in generations. Anyways, so they placed I do in marriage, right? And then I broke the word down, marriage, mirage, which is like a hallucination, or like a reflective image at the same time, I guess you could say. Water, or lack of water, because in the desert you get the mirage. I think you can get it on the ocean as well. So it's interesting if you think about that. It's like hallucination, imagination. The veil gets lifted. Break it down even further. Image, I mage, if you know what a mage is, right? And then mage, like magician. And I thought of, what else here I got in here? Mage sees, I see. Apple of my eye, like a seed. Or seed, C-E-E-D, or C and then S-E-A. Which is interesting. It's ironic. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. Starseed. I don't know if you've heard that term. Plant a seed. Can also be in the form of thought. They can be positive or negative. I prefer to go with the positive side. Idea. What else have we got in here? To be whole, 2 worlds, 2 rings. To be whole, whale, halos. Got a bunch in there. Okay, that's on that. No, now to the next one. Oh, I wrote this. This almost sounds like an Alanis Morissette thing. Intense healing these days. This was, I think, back in January or February, I don't know, of last year. I feel drunk when I'm sober. I feel young now that I'm older. All this life that I'm living was just a dream in me. too many nights alone. I gotta get used to being on my own. And I'm still seeing with my eyes closed. But we're strong, stronger than before. I put B in for. Carry off. We carry off through every open door. And like I said, I've got to really organize these papers and get them into, keep saying it, and I do little by little. Oh, well, this one's interesting. I have ocean in the sky and the earth symbol in the middle, okay? And I thought that was interesting because if you put that as like a crossroads, right? And let's say you got salt water and fresh water. Now, I believe at some point there's a part in the ocean where the salt meets the fresh water, and it's like created a divider, a barrier between the two. It's just an imaginary one. You get literally one on either side. And I was like, if there was an equal, say, grid or a split, because you know how they use the vibration, the frequency. I don't know if it's harp or something like that, but they mess around with shit they shouldn't. But when it comes to the frequencies, how you can manipulate the water, and you can create certain ripples, like even a grid effect. Wouldn't it be interesting if they were able to equally space out the salt water with the fresh water, right? So that it's almost like a grid. You could still flow freely in between it, but they're obviously the density between the salt and the fresh. How interesting that would be if they were able to literally I wrote tears of emotion, emotion being water, water being the ocean. Anyways, I put like a little grid, if you can see that. And if it was like a grid of, what do I got in the middle? So the actual roads themselves would be salt, and then surrounding it would be the fresh water. Really interesting. There's that. Oh my god, and I put this like a pokeball. It almost looks like an eye of an octopus and a pokeball. The idea of gotta catch them all. I don't know where that's coming in. That's a cartoon, if you don't know what that is. It's an older cartoon. But the idea that specific rarities are to be caught. The whole idea of a hook, getting hooked on something, and that being a way of reeling somebody in or pulling somebody in. They say plenty of fish in the sea. When it comes to testing the waters, a lot of guys use the whole idea of the hook. I don't know, some stupid shit like that. I'm not even gonna get into it. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm freaking talking about. Excuse me. I'll do like 2 more. Again with other languages. Ni hao. It's Chinese. Ciao. Arrivederci. Obviously Italian. Island. Island. Just Arabic. Almost sounds like island. Maybe I'm saying that different. Bonjour. French. Aloha. Hawaiian. Konnichiwa. Isn't that supposed to be thank you? Konnichiwa. On the back. Heel. Hello. Halo. Hollow. And I got a bunch of Visca Pisces in there. Just like random shit, right? Just random. What's that at the bottom there? Oh, it's a diamond. It almost looks like the beginning of Othelon, which is a rune. And then this one over here, is that? That's not Calamine. What's that one? I don't know. Anyways. Oh my god. What's this? Language of love. seed again, seed, CD, earth. Mind the sticky part with all cat hair. I don't even know if you can see that. Can you see that? Weird. I can love just random things I put down. This here, I think this reminds me of 4 and 8. Anyways, some water. I've had to drink more lately. But that's okay. As long as I'm drinking other shit too. Cheesy. C-H-E-Z. C-I-E-Z. Where does that come in? Cheesy. C. C-I-E-Z. It's weird. Oh, again with the sacral. Okay. So sacral is we feel, F-E-L. We can also be turned into me, W upside down, me elf, F elf, F-E elf, F-E-L.